I moved into the apartment because it was cheap. Way too cheap for the city. Too cheap for something that looked normal. The landlord didn't ask many questions. He didn't show much emotion either. He just handed me the keys and said, "If you hear noises at night, ignore them." I laughed. I thought it was a joke. The first night was quiet. The second night, too. On the third night, I heard footsteps. They didn't sound like they were coming from outside. They sounded like they were inside the apartment. Slow, careful, like someone was learning the layout. I sat up in bed and just listened. The footsteps stopped right outside my bedroom door. Then silence. The next morning, I checked the entire apartment. The closets, the bathroom, the kitchen. Nothing. No signs of anyone else. That night, the footsteps came back. This time, they walked for longer. Down the hall. Into the living room. Then I heard something worse. Breathing. Not fast or scared. It was calm. Like whoever it was felt safe. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The sound stopped immediately. When I opened my bedroom door, the hallway looked the same. But something felt off. The hallway seemed longer than I remembered. I just brushed it off. Lack of sleep messes with your head, right? On the fifth night, I noticed something new. At the end of the hallway, where there used to be just a blank wall, there was a door. It was old, wooden, painted white, but the paint was peeling. I stood there staring at it, trying to remember if it had always been there. I couldn't. I didn't open it. That night, I dreamed I was standing in front of that very door. In the dream, I could hear whispering on the other side. When I woke up, my bedroom door was open. I know I closed it. The whispers started for real the next night. Not words, just voices. Too many voices to count. They came from behind the door at the end of the hall. I pressed my ear against it. The whispering stopped instantly. Then I heard a single clear voice say, "He can hear us." I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I called the landlord. I asked him about the door. There was a long pause on the other end. Then he said, "I told you to ignore the noises." I asked him what was inside the room. Another long pause. Finally, he said, "People who open it don't stay long." That night, the footsteps ran. They didn't walk. They ran straight down the hallway and stopped right outside my bedroom door. Then the whispering came back louder than ever before. I couldn't take it anymore. I walked to the end of the hall and put my hand on the doorknob. It was warm. I opened the door. The room was small. No windows, no furniture, just walls covered in scratches. Names were carved into the paint, hundreds of them. Some were crossed out. Some were repeated over and over. And in the center of the room was a mirror. I stepped closer and looked into it. The reflection wasn't me. It was my bedroom. I saw myself sleeping peacefully in my bed. Then I saw something else. Someone standing at the foot of my bed, watching. The whispering behind me stopped. A voice spoke right next to my ear. "You're in the room now." I turned around. The door was gone.